Hey Pepsters, hope you're all doing good. And so there are only a few days left for the TCS NQT, that is National Qualifier Test now, and we are getting a lot of queries on the last minute preparation strategy for the exam. So one by one, I'll give you a lot of tips on how to prepare for the exam when you have a few days left for it. So before that, I hope you have already gone through the syllabus videos which we have uploaded on our YouTube channel, and there are many more videos on the YouTube channel regarding the TCS NQT exam. So if you're facing issues with the registration, we have a video for that, and then we have top section wise videos on the YouTube channel. So go through them to know the topics which would be coming in the exam, the topics which are important and the topics which you can ignore for the exam, right? So now talking about the toughness of the exam. So the exam would be a little tough because in the TCS the questions are a little tricky. But if you have prepared for them well, and if you have prepared from our online classes and have practiced all the questions from our practice materials, it would be very easy for you to attempt the questions in the exam. Now, the questions are tough, but not that tough if your practice is up to the mark, and then at the last moment, if you go through the topics which you are good at and the topics which are tough in the exam, such as the topics like P&C or topics like geometry, or if you're weak in coding or in programming MCQ, so I would suggest you to go through those specific topics when you have 3 to 4 or 5 days left for the exam. Okay, so now let's talk about the time when, let's say, you have just 48 hours left for the exam, or you have 2 days left for the exam. So the most important point I would like to highlight here is do not party, right? Or do not play games, or do not watch movies with your friends or anything like that. Just relax, cause it's all about handling the pressure at the last minute, right? So there would definitely be pressure in your head for the exam, but do not worry, right? If you have practiced the questions really good, so the exam you would be cracking it with really good score. So in the last 48 hours, the topic which I would love to concentrate on is topics like geometry. So we have shared a geometry PDF, and I would again share it in the description of the video. So go through the geometry PDF wherein there are standard formulas, right? And then talking about topics like profit and loss, simple and compound interest. So just go give an overview on the formulas for these topics, right? And then again talking about the time management there in the exam, right? So if you have practiced the question well, and if you are taking less time, so for the topics where you are taking a lot of time, go through the tips and tricks which you have taught in the classes and try to reduce your time on those particular topics when it's like last 48 hours left for the exam. Now, in the last minute, also go through the squares of the standard numbers and then the cubes, square roots, and then if I say you what is 1/8, so you should be able to tell me the percentage value for that, right? So 1/8 and 1/16, what is 1/6? So you should know the percentage values for that, because they cut short a lot of time for you in the exam. And then talking about the exam day, right? So on the exam day, before the exam day, have a very tight sleep, right? Sleep for at least 8 to 9 hours, because you need your brain to be fresh for at least 90 minutes during the exam, because the exam is for 90 minutes. And then talking about the exam center, and also get your hall tickets printed and have all the documents with you handy. Keep them in a folder, and on the day of the exam, I would suggest you to reach at least 1.5 hours prior to the time of the exam, right? Because in that case, there would not be any hustle, and if there is a hustle, that creates pressure in your head. So reach the exam center on time, because the TCS center, sometimes they might be there in an IT building, and it would be very tough for you to find out your floor or the building, right? And then in the exam, right? So before the exam, drink a lot of water, and then do not think about anything else. Just try to calm down as much as you can. And before you start the exam, go through the instructions very carefully, because the negative marking might change, because in the last year, whatever we have updated in our YouTube videos, those are the negative marking strategies used by TCS in the last year, right? But they might change it this year, right? No one knows about that. So go through the instructions for the exam very well. Read them once or twice before you attempt the questions, right? So once you start the questions in the exam, so there might be a case where TCS might have kept the paper very tough, right? So you might not be able to solve the first question, but do not, be nervous. You might not be able to solve the second question as well, but you would be able to solve the third question. So do not lose hope, right? Fight for the 90 minutes, because however you perform in the 90 minutes, that is going to decide your fate. So in the exam, you might see questions in TCS which are very lengthy, right? Which have 40 to 50 words in one single question, but that doesn't mean the question is tough. So one important thing is, do not skip any question without reading the question at least once. Read the question, you would find that the question was really easy, just that there were a lot of sentences in the question. So that is one important tip from my side. And then talking about the topics, right? So always try to complete all the questions from all the section, at least read them once carefully, because if you at least attempt 50 to 60% of the questions, there is still a chance, right? And do not try to leave the exam thinking about that I have already screwed up the exam and I am not able to solve any of the questions and things like that. Because if the exam is tough, it's not only tough for you, it's tough for the majority of the students. And the results are decided on the basis of the percentile score, right? Not on the percentage score. So that is one more important thing. And then again, I would emphasize, so if you still have time, go through all the practice questions from our practice sheets and go through our dashboard, because the questions there are of the same pattern from which you'll get the questions in the exam, right? So prepare well and do not pressurize yourself. And still, if you have any doubt regarding anything, do come back to us. Do comment on the comment section and we'll definitely try to reply, and I'll personally try to reply on each and every query from your side. So prepare well and hope you clear the TCS exam. Thank you so much.